Hound dog holler, oh hound dog, won't you holler? Wanna hear you sing, wanna hear you sing, way down in old creek bottom. Send your voice, send your sweet voice dancing through the midnight air.
Alright folks, I ain't been able to fish this weekend. I've been preparing my boat to have the pods put on that I won off Catfish Weekly. So, and I know I hadn't done a video in the last couple of weeks, but we're gonna do one now, get a little bit more in depth of my rigs and stuff that I use. But if y'all are interested in needing a rod rack made or a live well made or even pods made to put on the back of your boat, the guy that's installing my pods, he matter of fact, it's Prosperity Metal Works. They do all kinds of aluminum fabrication, metal fabrication, and they can weld anything and build anything. He's got brakes and stuff to build aluminum with and all that, and make what you need. And I've seen some of his work, and he does real good work. And it's Tony Bickley, Prosperity Metal Works, and his let's see, his number is 803-944-1639, and that's in Newberry County. But it's Prosperity, South Carolina. I'll have the description and everything in the credits at the end of the show, how to get in touch with him and all that, and his name and the name of his business. But he's working on my boat right now as we're talking. I delivered it to him this morning, and he's working on it right now. But why I'm doing this video is to show, like I say, more in depth of the rigs and stuff that I use. I've changed up a little bit, but it's still basically all the same thing. Now, I did go to Big Catfish rods, and there was a reason for that. I had a big fish on, and the rods that I was using, wasn't nothing wrong with them or nothing like that. It just it didn't have enough backbone to get the fish, and it got in some timber on me pretty quick, and I really needed something where I could slow him down a little more that didn't have that had a little more backbone to it. So I went to the Big Catfish rods, to the mediums and the medium heavies. I've got 4 of each, so they've been doing pretty good. I'm real pleased of them. And plus, I went to the Cast King Rover reels. And but let's talk about some rigs. All right, the first rig, when I'm dragging baits and all that, I drag 6 rods, whether on planer boards or on the whatever, out the back of the boat. Then I always put 2 rods suspended out the front of the boat. Now, on my suspended rods, I don't, if it's 10 feet or less, I don't suspend. And normally I usually won't suspend no baits till I'm 15 foot or deeper, but these times that I've went just a little shallower, especially if it's a long drift and it's a lot of shallower water. But my rig is, now I did swap lines, something with a little less stretch than what the Berkeley Big Game. Now this is still Berkeley line, but this is the Pro Spec, and I've been pretty happy with it so far. And the memory on it's a whole lot less memory than what the Big Game is. But this is 30-pound main line, and that's 8-ounce no roll that I suspend with. And we'll get it up here. Go to a glass bead and 1 out swivel, and that's just to keep that glass beads, just to keep beating that knot to death. I do use rubber ones also, but I'm out of them, so I had to rig this up. Now, this is a new weight. We still, Jerry Droughty is still working on clips that will hook to the line, and to hold this above the bait. This is the Bloodline drift weights. Well, this is the suspended weight right here, but this is something new that's out, and I'm trying them. And that right there just leaks a little bit of scent out. You fill it up right here, and it'll drip out as you're moving and bumping and all that. And a 10-aught hook. But like I say, on all my suspended lines, I never run over a 2-foot leader. You know, 2 foot or shorter. That way I know exactly where my bait is all the time. And I always run between a 6 and an 8 ounce. Depends on how heavy the wind is and all that. A 6 to 8 ounce no roll to suspend with, just to keep my line down where I want it, instead of it being on a, you know, a 20, 30, or 45 degree angle outside of the boat from drifting from 0.2 to 0.5 mile an hour or whatever. But that is my suspend rig that I use right there. Now, like I say, this is Bloodline drift weights. Bloodline drift weights right there is Jerry Droughty. That's the man that's got these right here. All right. Now, on my dragging system, I've kind of starting to do things just a little different, because I'm starting to anchor more in whatever, especially the weather that we've had. You know, so whatever the weather, you know, normally everybody knows that watch my channels know that I drift 90% of the time. But there's times that you got to suspend or anchor. But I used to use, which I still do, the snap swivel. But I went to the regular 1/0 swivel, and with a bead on it, and my leaders on these right here will vary from 2 foot, 3, 4 foot, whatever. All of my rods, these right here, are different lengths. And went to this rig wrap line swivel right here. These things, you don't have to use the rig wrap. I just like them because I can take them off and on, or whatever, just to keep from beating the rods up. You know, the weights and stuff and beating the rods up, but they actually snap off and on real easy. And why I went to this, or something with a big hook on it like this right here, is, well, for instance, on the dragging weights. You know, now this is the weights that Jerry's building. This is the Bloodline dragon weight right here. You put sand in the bottom, and well, let me grab some sand right here. And here's some sand that needs to be shook up. You just put that in there, and it'll drip out the bottom as it's dragging along. But this right here goes on here real easy. There, and you're done. You're ready to fish. Put your bait on it, you're ready to fish. Now, why I like these is because, especially when I go to places like Monticello Lake and all that, I don't do a lot of dragging, except just a few places there. But I do a lot of suspend and anchor fishing there. And that's why these weights like this right here, I can just change these weights out, and I still got my same rig. And I can suspend with that, or cast it out and let it sit on the bottom if I'm anchored. And any of the weights right there will work with that. And also, one reason why I started using these right here, because here before too long, here in a couple of months, we'll be getting into the time of the year that you'll start having a thermocline in the lake. And what I do when I do that, if the fish is going to be above the thermocline, if I mark fish that I think is catfish and they're in the thermocline line, top of thermocline line or above, then ever how deep that thermocline is that I can get above the thermocline, I'll make a swivel like this right here on a leader with your other dragon weight hooked into it. Then what you do is, I've got it right here somewhere. Only thing that I do is put, now I done this with the other rig and stuff like I was using with the snap swivel, just like this right here. And I can drop that weight down like that right there, and that will be like thermocline's 3 foot. I can make this dragon weight 4 foot, and that way, because when you're pulling it, it'll be at an angle like that right there. Let me let go of that. Your weight will be at an angle like that right there, and this right here will be floating up like this. So if I cut it 3 foot, that's going to give me above. That right there will be dragging the bottom, and this right here will be above the thermocline right there, right at the top edge of the thermocline, dragging my bait through there. So that's how I do that. And that right there is a real good way, because a lot of people won't, if they see a thermocline, they won't fish it, but there's fish around the thermocline. They may not be a whole lot of fish around the thermocline, but sometimes you can catch an old biggin at the top of the thermocline after other fish that's hanging out at the top, especially your bait and stuff like that. But and this rig right here, you can change, like I say, and this is a basic Santee rig, just a basic Santee style rig, like that right there. Now I don't use rattles, but sometimes, you know, that ain't saying that I won't, but I don't. I try to keep everything down where you ain't got to spend so much money. Now if they want to, you know, send something to me for me to use or something like that, I'll do it. You know, it ain't going to hurt nothing. If you want to buy them little old rattles that go on, I think, matter of fact, Dealer Milhorn, I think's got a couple videos out of good that comes down to the peg right there, and it'll spin on your line and rattle. Those are good, and they've got the Demon Dragons and several different models out there. Different people make them. They ain't nothing at all wrong with them, you know. But to me, the less money I have to spend, the better I like it. You know. And the only reason I've got the rods and the reels, new rods and reels, it's time. My other ones was old. I had them for years and wanted to upgrade. And after that one fish done me the way it did, I figured it's time for me to upgrade. So I went ahead and done it. And like I say, I don't know which reel is on this, and I've got, this is the Cast King Rover 50. This is the 50 reel. I don't know if you can see it right there in the camera or not. But that's the 50 reel, and all mine are left-handed. And but I've got the 50s and the 60s. I don't know what's on this one. This is the medium heavy, big Catfish rod, and this one has got a 60 on it. So those, I've been real pleased with them so far. Now time will tell, you know, no more than they cost. I think the 60s is $52, and I think the 50s are $48 maybe, something like that, and they're still geared, you know. I think that the braking system on them is 12 to 15 pounds, something like that. I mean, you can lock them down pretty hard though till they won't go, but I ain't never run my brakes wide open no way, you know. But I just thought I'd do that little video and leave comments and stuff, because I'd like to hear y'all's opinion of what you think about my rigs and anything to help people or the catfish industry. That's what we have to do, you know. But because there's a lot of good products, I ain't saying not buy them. That's by no means. And you'll be seeing me use lightning bug lights when it gets just a little later, closer to spring and stuff like that. I'll be doing a lot of night fishing, and y'all be seeing me using some lights called the lightning bug lights. That is a well-made product, and I think that I'm going to enjoy them. And you're going to be seeing me use these dragon weights right here a lot. But check the dragon weights out on Facebook. Jerry Droughty, D-R-A-W-D-Y. And there's still a few things he's working some kinks out and stuff like that. But that's good. I've been real impressed. Last few times we've been out, the bite's been slow, and the fish that we did catch was on the drag on these weights right here. And because y'all know from last videos or seeing me on my boat and all that, that I make mine weights out of hollow shoestring. That's all that is right there, with 1/4 ounce barrel weights in them. And of course, you know, 8 of them make 2 ounces. And that's just the easy way to do that right there. And I'm going to still make these, and I'll still use these because that's a real inexpensive way to do it. A lot of people buy shot and stuff like that and put in them. And I don't do all that. I have to use a straw and all that. I'd rather buy a shoestring large enough to put the weight in it, and you just put 8 of them in it, and you can make one in you know, less than a minute. You know, so they're real easy to make. And but I thought that might be some good information that y'all might want to know. If you have any suggestions, I mean, I love suggestions, and I love people asking questions, and I see if I can answer them or what I do. And but if you like this, hit like and subscribe, and we'll try to get probably this next weekend. We'll get out, see if we can put some fish in the boat and see what we can make happen. And we'll go over some of these products and stuff that I'm using and all that on the next couple of videos. And but hopefully y'all like it. If you liked it, hit like and subscribe. Thank you.